this begins to take a shape. It's kind of a symphonic shape that we're looking at. I like that. So we just need to find a name for the symphony now.
I thought we were going with Deboralia.
Deboralia.
Deboriana. Or
Deboriana.
Deboriana.
Deboriana symphony.
Deboriana, I like that.
Oh, no, actually, I know somebody named Deborah. No.
Well,
Yeah.
Debriana.
the SoCal title is
Deboresque.
No, but it's just one
That's
movement.
just the second movement.
But it's supposed to last 20 minutes.
Or third movement.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we have the whole thing be the piece? I mean,
Deborah
you've
Kerr.
just been listening to 10 minutes of.
I like the idea of it, like overtaking the last bit, overtaking.
Yeah.
So like if it's not like 20 minutes per se, but she continues to talk.
Yeah, so
I don't think there's gonna be anybody from the SOCAN there to check on it.
Yeah, but we don't want to cheat. We don't want to lie.
But this, at the SOCAN, the
Wait,
title
wait.
Don't forget, we can have, you can have a silence, or you can have a piece that ends, it's as the performance. So if you decree that the performance is at 20 minutes, one way that we can, actually, one way we can do that, actually, which is if you just have one, like, a digital timer for 20 minutes. It just needs to go out the full 20 minutes. That's it.
I don't see any problem, because even pieces that are registered at 15 minutes sometimes are only 12 minutes long.
Yeah, exactly.
Or longer in the performance, because the performance is another event.
Yeah, just take a slower tempo.
It's just,
Yeah.
she's taking it slow today, so it's longer.
But the title, at the SOCAN, the title of the piece is Deborah Carruthers?
Yes.
Okay, it's the full thing.
But
Yep.
there's an AKA.
Deborah Joan Carruthers, because you never know. My mom could be pissed.
Ah,
Joan is my middle name.
okay.
It's not the symphonic version though.
No,
Oh, okay.
it's just the third movement of the
It's a
symphony.
it's a solo piece.
It's a solo piece.
Okay.
What is the Carruthers? What is that for? What is profession is that? What is the Carruthers?
I believe that the Carruthers is Irish, and we come from a very long and honorable line of horse thieves, as far as I'm aware.
But is that the name? Does the name say horse thief? Because his names always say something, right?
No, with the name, it's related to the MacDonald clan. My mother's name is actually, my grandfather was a Scotsman. He was a Duffus from Duffus. And so my mother's name is actually Jean MacDonald Duffus.
You sold horse meat to McDonald's?
See, this is how rumors start.
They stole horse meat in Ireland and sold it to McDonald's.
Yeah.
That's some old horse meat.
There's a Carruthers Lake up at the Laurentians. Morin Heights is lousy with Carruthers. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so now we have this form which I pressed you to articulate in some way. But now is this
I think I'm unclassified though. Am I not unclassified?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm unclassified.
you're unclassified?
Yes.
So
Mm,
it could be a
I knew
symphony.
it.
I could be a symphony.
It could also be an
That is-
installation.
I could be. I am unclassified.
No, but I'm wondering now to answer a little bit, and maybe we need to dig ourselves how we can now fill this with something. I think the form is nice because it evokes familiarity without being familiar at all in many aspects, but it evokes this feeling of for movement and blah, blah. But how does this relate to Deborah's praxis? I think we need to still dig a little deeper. All these things work now. We know it would work.
Mm.
We could do it. But how does it relate to her process in detail? Like, is there anything that we can take from her process that would make it more
Well,
closer?
she has a topic. Our topic is Deborah.
Yeah.
And we
Starts from a
found-
story.
Yeah, and we found these different end results. Hers are
Realizations.
usually visual results,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
but our end results are more sonic.
Yeah.
We can
I think
keep
it-
calling her.
Yeah.
And you also use classical forms sometimes, like the cow
paintings. The paintings themselves are a very classical kind of form, and we've chosen this most classical of classical forms, the sonata form.
But, and also, you know, in the cow thing, but in the bird as well, there's a different, you know, the more community kind of aspects of the pictures, for example, the bird watchers. There's the very personal and subjective conversation between the two men. So, you know, there are those layers of things. I think the glacier, the second movement will be more of the contemplative layer, or maybe a little bit more moving, or, you know, more invested in expression. And we have the scherzo that is a little bit more, you know, lighter, entertaining. So I think, and you have the last movement that is more organized, or a little bit more, you know, because of the conducting or something like that. So I think if you look at the way you were doing the birds, but the same thing for the also the cows, it's different things that are of a different aesthetic. You know, some of them are really moving, some of them are very conceptual, some of them are really entertaining in a way. Some of them are really concrete, and some of them are really abstract. Is that a word? Mm-hmm. So I think that's, we have the multi-layers, but also going into varied aesthetic and not going towards the same thing. On these good words, I have to go. I've said it all.
Have a great concert tonight.
Ah, thank
Get
you.
bought many times.
You know, if I do a good job, I might end.
The first movement actually is this duos almost. You have a duo with her, and we could organize the rest. I mean, you will not be there if it's the afternoon concert, so there will be two more duos that we could institute. So one flute with percussion and one flute with trombone, and then these dialogues could be just dialogues. We will never completely get together as one ensemble. It will be just dialogues. This could be even spaced out. This could be really around the audience in some way, and just happen and to do is, of course, you react to what the others do, but you have your own duo to care for. And that would be a significant different thing. And then we have the glaciers, and then we have the talk, and then we have this conducted thing that no one expects. No one expects the conductor to do anything, or a conductor at all to appear in this improv context. And obviously it's this was very funny in Berlin. We did this concert in Berlin where Gabriel was there, and you know, the poet who we worked with there had this recording of him snoring or talking in his sleep, and I had to conduct it, and it was so hard to make out when, you know, it was like snoring and then long silences, and how long are these silences? And he wanted me to conduct it in a way that it would at the beginning be totally convincing that I'm conducting something that is actually already taped, and at the end it should become clear that I don't know what's going on, that I can't foresee the tape, and it was very interesting how then suddenly this figure of the conductor itself became a question. What is the conductor doing in conducting? Because obviously and then there was immediately afterwards, I did conduct something, and it was crucial that it would be conducted, and then, so there was always this little play between this role, and maybe that's something that I need to think about, how to make this last part also not just me jumping on stage and sort of starting to conduct, but there needs to be some justification why I do that.
I have a.
Well, for me, it makes sense that you would do it, because I think in the same way that there's translation, you know, where there's the simultaneous translation that happens. For me, as a non-musician, for me, a conductor is a translator.
Ah, okay. Mm-hmm.
You know, for me, that actually, and that became very clear to me when I started working with Jonathan Girard in Vancouver, that it's a relationship that is a really important one for me, because it the things that would be very difficult for me to describe as to, you know, I was thinking this, in being able to work with a conductor as sort of translator, it became very easy then in rehearsals for him to do shorthand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously.
You know, what would take me 10 minutes and he'd use 3 words and they go, oh, you know, like that, although not to that extent, but like in terms of working it. So to me it would make perfect sense. And probably to people.
And I
that
probably would take really the tempo from your speaking. I would really listen to you and start conducting with you.
Yeah.
So that I would,
and if
I would be prompted by what you do.
Is this a piece you would intend to rehearse? I'm open to coming to the rehearsal, because also that would be good practice for me in terms of the listening. And a little bit of it is the cancelling of sound. So I would be actually happy to come to rehearsal.
I think you have to come to
Yeah,
rehearsal.
thank you. I mean, you are performing Deborah Carruthers, for God's sake.
Yeah.
That's right.
How can you not be there?
How can I not be there? But,
Otherwise our muse is gone.
oh, I'm amused. It's just gets better all the time. Oh my God, you stole my heart.
I had a random thought because you know, in other improvisations we've done, when you come to conduct, and it happens sometimes. Some people have their eyes closed and they kind of don't, you know. I mean, you hear a change, but I think you had your eyes closed when you did it earlier today, or
this morning.
Oh. Sorry.
And no, but it's happened. I remember Felix and I were saying that too, and I don't know who else, but this idea of these those pages, you know, with holes, you know, so sometimes you see the you see the conductor. I don't know. It's a random little association I made, but I think that if depending how we're placed and how you're placed, it's quite nice if this we feel this, because we said like maybe we feel this energy the whole time, but it was hard to contradict it so openly because we're all attentive to you, but maybe we that relationship kind of can you know, we could be eclipsed by something and then do something else.
Or just turn around.
Yeah, or just
or something. Yeah, that's what I meant. There needs to be something else too that
yeah.
Because it cannot be just this kind of Butch Morris person coming on stage and conducting an improvisation. You know, it can't be that. It needs to be some other
Maybe
reason for it.
part of your conducting can have the task of changing the page. Do you know what I mean? To reveal the next hole or the next color.
Yeah.
Or we can each have the task or invitation to, at some point during that thing, to break out of that. And it's hard in this small space, but in a larger space, that, you know, to sort of be like a bird flying over top of this thing and then coming back in. Because that might create, then it's not so square, you know, there's something that happens that's sort of like.
And also what I often try to do is to listen to somebody's beginning divergence from something, and then to take that into the music and shape my movement so that this becomes possible within this scheme, and that would trigger all kinds of other reactions from everybody else and change the music accordingly. So I think that's also something where I think I only twice I really had the feeling that I have to do actively. I have to input energy. But most of the time I could just take from somebody and bring it to everybody's attention, and then things would already develop. I thought that was quite effective. That worked. So yeah, that could go on well. Good.